Should this not be part of the discussion? Should an advanced society not say, hey, why is that? Over 96% of U.S. mass shootings are all by one group of people, one type of human. 96%. I don't know if some of you know which group it is. I'm about to tell you, but almost the entirety of mass shootings fit into this category. Almost the entirety. So shouldn't it be logical? Shouldn't we be rational and logical and sit here and be forward thinking, be a forward thinking society, and sit here and go, hey, shouldn't we take anyone that fits into that group that is committing 96% of all mass shootings? Shouldn't we take them and I'm not saying like execute them or anything, just put them all in a cage. Just put them in a nice little cage where they can't hurt anyone. Wouldn't that make sense? Just lock them deep underground with a bucket to piss in. Wouldn't that be the forward-thinking thing to do here? Okay, let's say that's too harsh. Shouldn't we take them all and subject them to a special screening? Some special rules. So like sex offenders, you can do it like sex offenders. They can't. This group of people can't be near schools. They can't work at the Boy and Girl Scouts. They can't work in any government jobs. They can't run for office. They can't hold a job that involves guns and badges and pointy, stabby things. Doesn't that make sense? Wouldn't that be the logical thing to do? 96% of those who commit mass shootings fit into one group, and it's never discussed by the mainstream media. They're men. It's men. Men. Fucking men. They're the worst, aren't they? 96% of mass shootings are done by men. Here's the actual stats. And again, I don't know if you can see the actual numbers. You can see the bar graph, definitely, but I don't know if you see the actual numbers. Now, the numbers may seem low. This is from 1982 to 2023. And you may say 136. Why is it only 136 mass shootings? Because, again, I think they're talking about mass killings. So they actually have the terminology wrong. There's been thousands of mass shootings in that time, but I think they're talking about mass killings. But okay, so 136 have been male, 4 have been female, and then they have 2 as male and female, which I guess they're counting that as either trans or anything else that didn't fit under the 2 categories of male or female. So 96% are done by men. So anytime we discuss these mass shootings, this should be in the discussion. This should be part of the discussion. Of course, I was being sarcastic, which led with the idea of locking all men underground. I personally would prefer that we not be locked up underground. But should this not be part of the discussion? Should an advanced society not say, hey, why is that? Why also are a third of them ex-military or current military? But of course, we can't discuss these things like goddamn rational beings, can we? We can't sit down and actually have these discussions. We have to have the dumb, super dumb discussions that they have on mainstream media. We have to have the completely irrational versions of these discussions where they say, where they see that one trans person committed a mass shooting and then Fox News does wall to wall, trans people are killing everyone. Or, they see that one, I don't know what's a lot of these people are actually connected to far right wing nationalist groups. So I think that's a fair discussion to have. I don't know the exact percentage of that one, but that's a fair discussion to have. The one that that wasn't a mass shooting. That was the guy who drove the car through the people in Charlottesville. So the one who nearly killed me was a fucking neo-Nazi. So that's a fair part of the discussion to have. Sorry if that upsets you. If you find yourself defending the Nazis, it's one of my favorite quotes. I don't know where I got it, but they were like, if you're anti-Antifa, then you're the fa. You know what that stands for, right? Anyway, I think these are some of the more important discussions to have about these mass shootings that are completely ignored on your mainstream media for a good reason. They can't be talking about legitimate issues. Instead, they have to act like we don't know where these mass shootings come from. There's a lot of other aspects of mass shootings that also desperately need to be talked about on mainstream media, but of course can't be, such as the connection to capitalism. The fact that almost all of these men, and like we just showed, they are men, almost all of these men that are involved in these mass shootings, mass killings, almost all of them are, now they may have groups online, but they're basically kind of lonely people that have, many of them have had life circumstances such as losing their job, losing their girlfriend, getting kicked out of the military, have had life circumstances that have put them in that place. And many of those life circumstances are connected to the harm that capitalism does to our lives, to the gutting of our souls. This is not to say that what they do is acceptable. No, I think they should be locked up for fucking years and years.